The Scioto Grove Metro Park is a metropolitan park that is located in Grove City, Ohio. The park is fairly new, with it just recently being opened in May of 2016. The park is equipped with 620 acres of land filled with activities for people all around Ohio to enjoy. Some of these activities including hiking trails, archery zones, disc golf, playgrounds, and much more. The site has also been subjected to helping research aquatic life and terrestrial life. For our project, we won't be focusing on the park as a whole, but instead a small 12-acre plot of land. So let's zoom in and take a look. If you take a look around, it won't take long to realize the lack of growth. Before this area was classified under a metro park, the area was used as a limestone quarry. Visually, you can still see the remains of the quarry with leftover man-made mounds and mostly rocky surfaces. To find specific data within our site, we used Web Soil Survey. We found that the site was made up of 89.1% Eurodothense loamy steep soil, 8.8% salinas silt loam with a 6 to 12% slope, and 2.1% Miami silt clay loam with a 12 to 18% slope. The Eurodothense loamy steep soil, which makes up most of our site, is an area of land that has been dug down to a depth of 24 inches or more. So now that you have a better idea of what our site looks like, let's now talk about the ecological challenges. The ecological challenges of our site pertain mostly to the soil properties. The soil is mostly structureless with large amounts of coarse fragments. Most of the fragments were broken up during mining and are scattered all over the area. The bulk density of the soil is high. The causation of the high bulk density is likely from large pieces of equipment used to mine the rock. The equipment compacted the soil from heavy weight and has left a long-term mark on the site. The high bulk density makes it extremely hard for plants to burrow their roots deep enough for them to survive. The human impact of limestone mining has permanently impacted the originality of the soil. The microorganisms and habitats that lived within the soil prior were disrupted and essentially destroyed. Since many native plants rely on these microorganisms for maintaining soil health, they struggle to grow to their full size. Another factor that limits the plants that can grow there is the availability of soil organic matter. The site measured an average of 2% soil organic matter. This low percentage is only suitable for grasses or smaller plants. It would make it very difficult to grow larger plants such as native trees. The harsh soil health and properties limit the amount of suitable plants that can properly grow on the site, and the result is a lack of biodiversity. Plants that can thrive are the ones that typically are invasive and can survive in harsher soil conditions. It is important that this site is adaptively managed. After implementing our management system, results will vary and weather can change. These changes are uncertainties that can impact our process of restoration. It is essential that we develop a management system that takes into account these uncertainties so that we can have an over-prepared approach before the problems occur.
SMART goals are goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. On the Scioto Grove Disc Golf Course, cedar trees and a variety of grasses are the main plants that can survive due to the soil conditions. These conditions also allow for invasive species to thrive due to how hardy and fast-spreading they are. Increased biodiversity and improved soil health are the two main end goals of this restoration project. A short-term goal for the site is to remove the dead cedar trees and other dead plants and brush from the site. A medium-term goal is to improve certain properties of the soil in order to make it more sustainable for other species. The dynamic soil properties such as size of aggregates and bulk density most likely can be altered over the course of a medium-term goal. However, the inherent properties such as stoniness and slope will require the time frame of a long-term goal. A long-term goal for the site is to make the soil sustainable for a variety of species. Included in this is that the native species planted were able to survive and thrive over the invasive species on the site, creating desired biodiversity. This will assist greatly in the overarching objective of reestablishing the ecosystem that existed before the disturbance of the limestone quarry. Quarry Trails Metro Park had a similar start to Scioto Grove Metro Park and will be used as a reference site for the restoration. Before being a park, it was a limestone quarry named the Marble Cliff Quarry. They are working towards restoring the park. Assistant Manager Ethan Anderson and full-time park ranger Amber Hoffman give some insight.
Here at Quarry Trails so far, we haven't done too much native species reintroduction. We're kind of still just working on clearing out invasives like calorie pear or honeysuckle. Parts of the park we're just going to cover with topsoil to make it easier to grow grass in places and stuff. And some parts of the park we can use a piece of equipment called a rock hound to pull some of that stuff out.
And as far as soil goes, It's definitely a bit of a project, right? And there's a couple of benefits when it comes to planting prairie species, especially with rocky, more porous surfaces. It may be more of like a trial and error type of experience as well.
As they mentioned, the soil is very rock and stone dense due to the limestone quarry. This is a problem Scioto Grove is also facing. While they are currently focusing on invasive species removal, they are looking towards the future of the Metro Park and have come up with some answers to current problems. A solution that could be put into place in certain problem areas is covering the current soil with new topsoil. This allows native species to have a better chance than they would in the current situation. Another solution they have come up with is planting grasses where the soil is not tolerable for most plants. Both of these could be put into place at the Scioto Grove site due to the similar soil conditions.
The justification for restoration efforts is the contributions to enhancing the site's recreational and aesthetic value, in line with classic ideals of natural beauty such as those popularized by Aldo Leopold. Restoring the biotic integrity of the site will create an atmosphere where individuals can feel more in place with the natural environment. Additionally, due to the site being located in a metro park, tangible services for recreational use must remain intact. Improving the ecological diversity of the site can enhance its recreational function by providing new obstacles and complexity to the disc golf course and archery ranges. Improving the quality of the site will create a much more appealing natural area for the residents of the ever-developing Grove City and surrounding municipalities to enjoy. In order to achieve the goals of improving soil function and restoring biodiversity, covering the site with new topsoil will be a primary strategy. This approach, as suggested in An Introduction to Using Native Plants in Restoration Projects by Jeanette Dorner, is effective at restoring the living components of soil. Adding topsoil will also increase the total depth of loose soils, allowing for greater penetration of plant roots. So long as proper care is put into the transport of topsoil, making sure to maintain its structure and avoid erosion, the soil may be taken from a variety of locations, including other restoration sites or from pipeline trenching. In order to remedy the low soil organic matter, the addition of biosolids will serve as an input of carbon and other plant nutrients where necessary. Once the site regains soil function, the reintroduction of plants may begin. Initially, grasses will be planted to reintroduce living plants to the site. Following this, an adaptive management approach will be taken to attempt the reintroduction of larger shrubs and trees. While currently only cedar trees are capable of growing on the site, the vision for the site includes larger native deciduous trees such as white oaks and red maples. These trees will provide cover and habitat for the site for more birds and other species to potentially return. Additionally, by planting large trees, room is made for potential legacy events to occur, which will allow the site to eventually become a self-sustaining ecosystem. Monitoring of the site's productivity post-restoration will be done to assess the potential for these trees to grow before alternative options will be considered. By restoring soil properties and function to the site, further restoration can be done to improve the biodiversity of the site and, as a result, the value it gives to its visitors.